Yo, this is one of the weirdest cops I've seen on YouTube.
Walk away.
No, that's not how it works. You have to trespass me,
You've
then I
been
have to be
asked-
given an opportunity to leave.
You've
Isn't
been
that
asked
correct?
Keep your
multiple
hands
times.
to yourself.
I'm not being disorderly.
Yes,
I
you
will,
are.
I will gladly leave this area. if
Yeah,
I'm
it's
being
time to
questioned.
leave. Let's go.
I'm cooperating. I'm walking to my car. I'm leaving. That's exactly what you told me to do. Curious on why you're further harassing me.
Well, because I needed to determine whether or not you were who I thought you were. I needed to determine whether or not you had any warrants out for your arrest.
Well, I'd like to not further your investigation.
No,
This
I'm
place.
bored of this conversation because you're not nearly as cool or smart as you think
But you
are.
Welcome back to Just Following Orders. Today's video is coming from Brandon Hopkins' channel. Make sure you go check out his content and let him know I sent you. So we're in Berrien County, Michigan today, where Brandon was at a county fair when he went to the service desk to ask about his service dog and I guess where he should keep it chained. I don't know. It's a very convoluted story, and I'm not exactly sure like what all transpired. But long story short, to sum it up from what I could gather, is that he came asking about his service dog. The lady at the desk he said was rude to him. He told her about her rudeness. She took that as disrespect and told him to get away. He tried to continue to tell her to be professional because of her position. And so she said she was going to call the police. Now, when she said she was going to call the police, he was like, well, I'm not leaving because I'm going to wait for the police. I'm not going to like leave and it'd be like I'm evading them. I don't know. It all sounds petty to me. That's why I'm going to skip that part because it's kind of boring and convoluted and you can't hear very well. But that's not what we're here for anyways. And so an officer from the Berrien Springs Police Department finally arrives, and it's obvious like this dude is overcompensating for some kind of insecurity because he keeps trying to like throw his weight around every chance that he gets. And so he gets him away from the booth like the lady wants, but then like later on he finds him again and is like harassing him for an ID for no reason, and it's just a weird, awkward interaction. But y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's start the video.
Hello, sir.
How's it going?
Good.
Lisa Crowder, original chair.
Hi, Jim.
Jim, I'd like to have this gentleman.
Okay, what's going on?
He wanted to discuss his service dog. I told him I didn't need to speak with him, to step away from me. I told him the service dogs need to be back in the camping area. He's arguing with me. He's refusing to leave. I've asked him numerous times to walk away. Hi, Brandon, aren't you smart? And he absolutely refuses to walk away from the conversation. I told him back away. I shut the door sticks, it's him. So I'm being disruptive and unruly because I've asked him to walk away from me. I have the right to have him removed from my show.
Okay.
I've asked him repeatedly to walk away and leave. He refuses to. I would like to see him removed.
Hello.
How's it going, officer?
Are you Brandon?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any ID on you?
I do actually, yeah.
Can I see that, please?
But my name is Brandon Hopkins, and the reason why we're having this conversation is literally just because I came up and
Well, look. Can I see your ID?
I'd rather not give you my ID. I haven't broken any laws.
I'm not saying you broke any laws. I just want to identify you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm Brandon. My name is Brandon,
Okay.
and I haven't broken any laws, so therefore I wouldn't want to give you my ID if that's okay.
I'm just confused as to why not.
I'm not. I wasn't disorderly. She's the one being disorderly. I literally came up to have a conversation. I was talking to him for like 2 minutes. She slammed the door, came over here. She said she was calling you guys, so I didn't leave. 'Cause I didn't want to run away.
What's your middle name, Brandon?
My middle name is Alan, but I'm not going to give you any more information. My name is Brandon. She called you and told you who I was.
What's your date of birth?
I'm not going to give you any more information.
Okay.
I'd like to not give any more information. That's okay.
Why won't you give me your date of birth? I don't understand.
Why would you need to have my information?
Because I need I need to document your
It's a
information for
violation
my
of my
report.
Fourth Amendment right.
It is not a
Well, sure, because I haven't broken any laws. I haven't broken any laws.
I'm not saying you broke any laws. I am asking you to give me
Well,
your
therefore, I'd
information.
like to be secure in my house's paper copy of facts and laws. I'd like to be secure in my person.
Okay, are you refusing to identify yourself?
Well, yeah, I haven't broken any laws.
Okay. So they have asked you to leave. Okay. If you refuse to leave, then you are trespassing, and that is breaking
Well,
the
they
law.
would have to trespass me, and I would have to be given an opportunity to leave. That's how trespass laws work. So if you want,
Good status. Can you start another unit? Q2.
you wanna ask them if I'm being trespassed?
She already said she wants you to leave.
Well, no, she wanted me to leave. She said she didn't tell me to leave leave this place. She just wanted me to leave the office.
You want him gone, right?
Is that not correct? Isn't that correct, Tom? She wanted me to leave the office, not the property.
Originally, she asked to walk away and leave the office.
Well, that's
area.
what I was. That's under my understanding. So if I'm being
But
trusted,
you
so if I'm
haven't
being,
left yet.
if I'm, and that's why is because I was waiting for the officer. I'm sorry, sir. You're assaulting me.
No, I don't want you putting your
Don't.
hands next to me.
You just
I-
love to
I did it.
aggravate.
He
I didn't-
refused to walk
I didn't-
away
I didn't touch
from
you, though.
from my booth.
But
He refused to walk away, and I told him, I will have you removed from my grounds. If you don't walk away, I will call the police and have you removed.
so you want
you
He
want him
very
gone?
so you want
politely
me
said
trespass?
to me,
Is that correct? You want me trespass?
I don't want you trespassed. I want you removed off my grounds.
Well,
Nobody
that's
said you're
how it
trespassing.
works. He can't
You
remove
are-
me unless
you
I'm
are
being
being
trespassed.
argumentative.
Legally, right?
This he does. He just loves to do this. This is
Okay,
not the
so
first issue.
here's the deal.
Take him out.
If you want him gone, all right, we would have to formally trespass him. Is that what we want to do? Go.
That's up to you, Brandon. You have a choice.
I have a choice about what you're
So
telling
you
me.
can leave peacefully, or we can arrest you for trespassing.
Well,
What do you want to do?
No, sir. She can ask me if I'm trespassed, then I will.
You
sir.
can leave peacefully, or we can arrest you for trespassing.
But they
what do
have
you
to
want to
trust. They have to trespass me though.
do? Yes, they do, and they can.
So am I being trespassed?
If you don't walk away
No,
from
that's
me
not how it
and
works. You
leave,
have to trespass me,
You've
then I have to
been
be given an
asked-
opportunity to leave. Isn't
You've
that
been
correct?
Please
asked
keep your
multiple
hands
times.
to yourself.
Well, could you also?
So one, look at his face. Look at how angry he is right now. But another thing, we're gonna go back and I want you to watch this officer how he watches his hands while he's talking. Like this officer's so scared of a person talking with their hands. It's wild.
You
sir.
can leave peacefully, or we can arrest you for trespassing.
But they
what
have
do you
to
want to
trust. They have to trespass me though.
do? Yes, they do, and they can.
So am I being trespassed?
if you don't walk away
No,
from
that's
me
not how it
and
works. You
leave,
have to trespass me,
You've
then I
been
have to
asked-
be given an
Arrest you.
opportunity to leave. Isn't
You've
that
been
correct?
Please
asked
keep your
multiple
hands
times.
to yourself.
Well, could you also? Isn't that correct, officer? I have to be trespassed, and then I have to be given an opportunity to leave.
You are being told to leave.
by law.
Okay. At this point, I can arrest you for disorderly conduct. I can arrest
Thank
you for
you.
trespassing.
Well, I'm not being disorderly.
Yes,
I
you
will,
are.
I will gladly leave this area. if
Yeah,
I'm
it's
being
time to
trespassed.
leave. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, leave the fairgrounds.
Could I get your name and your badge number, please?
My name is Officer Wyss, WYSS. My badge number is 109.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your professionalism, sir. Well, you guys have
Wish
a
I
good
could say
day.
the same for you.
Well, I don't think I've been not professional.
I disagree.
Well, why would you say that?
Because you're instigating.
So Brandon shows the officer respect by saying, "Thank you for being professional," but the officer purposefully starts an argument with Brandon and then tells him that he's the one who's instigating. But textbook gaslighting.
I'm not instigating anything.
Yes, you are. Now
Sir.
it's time to leave. Let's go.
Yeah, I said I was going to leave.
Then let's go. Let's not talk about it anymore.
I have
Let's
to be
leave.
given an opportunity. You don't want me to use my free speech to leave? To leave this place? I can't use my free speech?
Go on.
I'm leaving.
All right.
Yeah. Officer Swiss. What a good guy. A public servant serving the public. It's awesome.
So Brandon attempts to leave the premises like he's told. He gets all the way to his vehicle, and then we get part two.
I don't answer questions. I like to
Why you're
exercise.
refusing to cooperate?
I'd like to exercise. I'm cooperating. I'm walking to my car. I'm leaving. That's exactly what you told me to do. What are you doing right now? Exactly.
Well, like I said
I'd like to
earlier, I need-
exercise my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, if that's okay.
You're not being
asking
charged
any
with a
other-
crime.
Huh?
You're not being charged with a crime.
Well, exactly. So why would you want to make me insecure
1511.
of my houses, paper, property, effects, and things? Why would you want to make me insecure of my persons and violate my Fourth Amendment right? I'm leaving this place. That's what you told me to do, right?
Hang on just a second. Can you advise if you signal 30? Sorry, I got a lot of background. Didn't hear that. All right.
I'm curious on why you're further harassing me.
Well, because I needed to determine whether or not you were who I thought you were. Because there's an individual with your name who was involved with, I believe it was St. Joe Police, and is possibly pending charges. So I need to determine whether or not you had any warrants out for your arrest.
Well, I'd like to not further your investigation.
He looks like he's making it up. Like, you mean to tell me that he just happened to have that in his head, a warrant from another city police department, or did he get that from the radio? I don't think so. It sounds fake. Watch again and look at his body language. You could just tell he's making it up.
Because there's an individual with your name who was involved with, I believe it was St. Joe Police, and is possibly pending charges. So I need to determine whether or not you had any warrants out for your arrest.
Well, I'd like to not further your investigation.
Well, you can be charged with obstructing justice at that point.
Well,
or
obstruction is a
police.
physical act.
It's not.
It actually is.
So
By law,
at
it's
this
obstruction.
at this point, all right. Unless you're going to give me ID to confirm this.
I'm not going to you're making me insecure in my house's paper property effects and things. If you violate my Fourth Amendment right, I'm going to sue you
I'm
and your
asking
department.
you to willingly give me your
I've
ID.
not broken any laws,
I'm
is
not
that correct?
forcing you to do that.
I've not broken any laws, is that
What does that
correct?
have to do with me asking you to give you ID?
Because you don't have to have articulable reasonable suspicion to gain my ID.
No, I don't. I'm asking you to give it over.
You have to
Willingly identify yourself. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you're trying to violate my Fourth Amendment right.
I'm not trying to violate any rights.
You have
If
a
I was trying to
supervisor?
violate your
Can I
rights,
get
I'd
your
be doing
supervisor?
it by force. My supervisor isn't working today.
Okay,
I'm the
well-
only officer. I'm in charge.
Well, you
today.
should get a
He's the only officer. He's the one who's in charge. Oh, they are cooked. I don't believe that at all. Is this dude an impersonator? Brandon should have checked if this dude was even a real police officer.
I'm the only officer. I'm in charge.
Well, you
today.
should get a supervisor before you make a mistake.
I don't have a supervisor working right now. I am the supervisor.
I would highly suggest you go above yourself before you make a mistake, because you walked over here to harass me and asked me to gain my ID. I've not broken any laws. I've not even been trespassed from
I'm not
this place.
forcing you to get.
You threatened me with arrest if I didn't leave, which is a violation of my rights
Okay.
in general. That is assault, sir. You have a gun and a badge, maybe the badge, but that gun, that's an assault. You have no legal and lawful reason to tell me to leave this place. They never trespassed me from
I
this
guarantee
place.
you that's not an assault.
Well, I can tell you right now that if I use my words in a threatening manner, that's assault. If I touch you, that's battery. That's assault and battery. So
Okay.
obviously you need to learn the
So
law.
at this point, you've agreed to leave. I suggest you do that.
Well, I suggest you to stop
Okay.
harassing me further.
So
An armed
Get in your
gunman,
car and let's go.
gunman. You actually have no legal and lawful authority to even make me leave at this point. You
let's
understand
get in your car
that?
and go.
You understand
Okay, let's
that,
not make
sir?
this any worse than it needs to be.
Well, I would highly suggest you not make it any worse for yourself, because this is documented on video.
I understand
We're
that.
having a conversation. I wish you had a body camera, because you should. You have a spot for it to
Yes, I
hold
do.
yourself legally accountable for what you're doing right now.
Yep.
Because if you violate my rights and take me to jail, I'm going to sue you.
I understand
And
that,
your
that is your
department.
right.
So
My
I
body camera's
highly
charging right
so
now,
I
that's
highly
why.
suggest
Okay.
you walk away, sir, because you have no legal and lawful authority to make me do anything at the moment.
I'm not trying to
you
make
have
you
no
do anything.
you have no ARS.
just
You have
asking
no
you to do that.
articulable reasonable suspicion to do anything to me. What you're saying to me is unlawful in what you're doing. I've not broken the law. I've not been disorderly. I've not done anything wrong here. You're coming and harassing
So,
me. You walked
are you
walked
leaving or not?
over 100 yards to come here and harass me and try to gain my
Are you
information.
leaving or not?
I said I was going to leave. You are hindering that ability for me to do so.
I'm not hindering anything. I've not
Don't
physically-
come over here like
physically
a
obstructed you.
tyrant.
Are you leaving or no? Or do you want to keep talking?
Do you have legal and lawful authority to even make me leave?
I'm not talking about making you leave. I'm asking you if you're
Sir,
leaving.
you're trying to exercise your authority and usurp authority over me, a
I'm sure
free
you
man.
wish that was the case.
A free
but
man
you're
in
not
this
nearly
place,
as
but
oppressed as you think you
you
are.
threatened me with arrest over there for
I
disorderly
told you what
when
would
I've
happen
not
if
been
you refused to leave.
But I've not been disorderly. You're assaulting my
So-
persons because you have no
Are
legal
you
and lawful
are you
authority.
leaving or no?
Why are you standing here?
Are you leaving or no? Yes or no?
How are you serving the public
Are
right
you
now?
leaving? Yes or no?
I told you that I was going to leave,
All right,
but
then let's go.
but I don't have to leave.
Let's go.
Sir. No, although you wanted to come have this conversation with me, I don't have to leave
No,
this
I'm
place.
bored of this conversation because you're not nearly as cool or smart as you think
But you
are.
understand.
So it's time to
I
go.
want you to know, as a public servant that works for me, I don't work for you.
No, I work for the people of the Berrien Springs.
I am the people, right? I am the
Springs.
people. No, you work for the people. You swore an oath to the U.S. Constitution to therefore protect my rights. You serve the public by protecting
Yes,
individual
and I am
rights.
employed by
and
the
what
people
you're
of
doing
Berrien
right
Springs and
now,
Orinoco Township.
trying to come over here
Okay.
and harass me to gain my
And you are
property,
disrupting
my papers.
peaceful
I'm not
execution of
disrupting
this fair.
anything. There is
All right.
nobody around here. There is absolutely nobody around here.
So are you ready to go?
You are disrupting my day by harassing
Okay.
me and coming over here. Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's it. If you continue
God
to
bl-
bother the staff at the fair, I will arrest you.
I'm not.
Do you understand that?
Sir, I have never bothered them at all. I was trying to have a communication with them. She got upset, slammed the door. God bless you, sir. Have a great day.
Little Jackie man, we didn't go to jail today.
Jackboot thug pigs.
Let's take a look at that walk of shame again. So, who was actually the instigator in this situation? I mean, Brandon had his little interaction earlier or whatever, but when he left, he left. And then what happened? He was approached and stopped from leaving by this police officer who was demanding him to ID himself. I guess not demanding. He said he was asking, but either way, when a badged officer with a gun is standing in your way and asking you for ID, either way, you feel like it's a demand. And Brandon handled himself perfectly. I mean, we heard his real feelings about the police at the very end there, but the way that he handled it when he was in front of the officer was he was very cordial, he was very respectful, and he kept his calm and his cool. But it showed how irrational the police officer was, because as cool and calm and respectful as Brandon was, the officer was like the exact opposite. While saying that Brandon was being disorderly and being an instigator, the officer seemed like he was trying to like antagonize and escalate the interaction as much as he could. And you could just see it in his face when in that whole last lecture he was given by Brandon. You could see it in his face that he like felt it. He was like, "Oh no, man, like I think I kind of am a piece of shit." And he obviously had nothing, because if he did, he would have pressed a lot harder than he actually did. So let me know what y'all thought about this interaction in the comments. Who was the instigator here? Was it the officer or was it Brandon? And what did you think about the officer? Like, what was his issue? Thank y'all for watching today's video. Please check out another one. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.